Makes me start choking, so I sit by the ocean. I spent my last buck on a bottle of whiskey. Drunk and broke, sitting here in history. I made my mind up how I'm going. Got nowhere to go, don't know where I'm going.
All right, welcome to the Scorch Corner today. We got a special guest with us. We have Dylan. He's a good friend of ours. He's been coming into this bar for quite a while, and we're just gonna get right into it. We've got a controversial topic I'd like to start with today. I almost killed a man in a parking lot. Every day I go to lunch.
Spill it, sister.
Yeah, I do. I go to LGO, get my little salad and my tea, and a cyclist drove right in front of me. And so here's my idea. No more cyclists on the street. I think that is a fair, just thing to say. And I get that they're trying to work out and be healthy, but this is a hobby for you. I'm going to my job. I'm going to work. I'm going to places, groceries, whatever. You are exercising. So why don't they just all stay on their bike trails or go to, stay on a route?
I mean, the bike lane at least.
Well, the bike lane is even bullshit too, because what's harder to dodge? A pedestrian on a bike or a car where a bike's pedaling next to you? It's way more dangerous, I think.
Yeah, they always have this fear that they're gonna like hit a rock and
Of
course.
I've got hit by a car while riding my road bike before. That was not fun at all.
What happened?
It fucking hurt.
I'm sure it didn't feel good, but I want to know the circumstance.
The light was red, but he did a California stop, and I just kept going. And he was like, "Yeah, eat a dick, bro," and fucking took me. It destroyed my fucking life. My whole back was like
Did you ragdoll over the car?
No. So the bike went under the car. I went into the actual the intersection.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Yeah, that guy died."
Who had the right of way?
I wasn't wearing a helmet. I wasn't I was non-safety completely.
Who had the right of way, though?
I had the right of way because he had the red light.
He just
was like beep beep.
Yeah.
And then he got stuck there. And then his friend started panicking. He was like, "Fuck, dude, you killed a guy." And I got up real quick, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm all right."
So I have a question though. Were you exercising, or were you commuting?
No, I was exercising.
Okay.
I was exercising.
Can you maybe exercise in maybe a safer area?
Well, I was on
stationary bike.
I was on the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah, but these laws and rules are designed for to keep everything green or whatever.
I understand
but
that.
No one's using it to transport. They're just using it to
California
fuck around
stop.
Well, I get that. I understand that. I'm just saying.
I got paid for it.
Okay, listen. Am I the bad person for having this opinion?
No, you're definitely not. But am I bad for having that opinion?
Yeah, you are.
How?
Get off the road.
I wasn't on the road.
Take your bike. Get out of here. We're all trying to get somewhere.
I wasn't on the fucking road. I was on the sidewalk.
I think you're talking about two sides of the same coin, though. Really, you could be a commuter, right? You could be carbon emissions, free and all that, and that's how you choose to commute to work. It could be exercise. I think that what it comes down to is the safety of actually just being on the road and understanding those rules and respecting those rules.
Shit.
If I'm on my bike, I'm on the canal. That's how I exercise.
Safe area.
I never take it to the road. But I have friends who do commute to work.
It's called a road bike, so just saying.
Okay, whatever.
Hold on, wait, go. What happened though?
I was just going out of the parking lot at LGO to come here, and this guy just went right up in my blind spot on the left-hand side in the parking lot. So you guys are talking. We're all talking about. I want him off the road completely, but to be in a parking lot riding around on a bike, it's one thing to look back and see a car backing up and being like, okay, it's a giant vehicle, you can definitely see it, or even a person who's walking slowly, but a bike that rolls up at 25 miles an hour,
whipping by,
and I almost ran him over. He's yelling at me, I'm yelling at him.
So he got mad?
Oh yeah, very mad.
Are you yelling at him? Is he beside you as you're yelling?
Yeah.
So hitting the side mirror? Fucking bitch.
The only safety I had was a piece of glass that separated us. But he was hitting the car. It was
no parking lots.
It was a lot.
Not my Jeep.
No parking lots.
Are you sure we can't turn that fan on?
Yes.
Yes.
If you want the volume to be
Very
terrible.
positive that you cannot turn.
All
I'll
right.
bring in like an extra fan if you need me to, and then eventually.
All right.
You need like some ice packs that say just like take some shit
man.
to your fucking body.
I guess.
Dry fit.
Do you know what my SRP bill is?
You want to invest in that?
I'm
bitch?
not doing that
I
for
know.
us.
I
It's
know.
not.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Okay, so speaking of like opinions about like what makes somebody good or bad, there's this Chinese social credit score that's been going on for the past decade, which is essentially depending on certain criteria makes you a better or worse person, then you get rewarded in their society. And I feel like that's kind of creeping up in America at the current time. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this.
Is it going to replace the credit score?
Well, so the credit score is kind of like a market-based thing, but it's the same idea. So if you don't pay your bills, or you're late on your credit card, or you've got a lot of debt, then people can see this, and then hey, if you want to borrow money, it's going to be at this point.
Right.
But what if the terms weren't just about your payments, and they were about, hey, maybe we don't like this certain type of people you date, or we don't like how you raise your kids, or you don't visit your grandmother enough. So
It goes that deep?
yeah, I mean, there's the facial recognition stuff.
Yeah. But
They
they've had
keep
that.
track of all these things that you do, and how deep they go is pretty alarming to me. And
That does seem pretty fucking alarming.
because it's not that like we can't all sit together and make an assumption or an agreement about what's good and bad, but the fact that it's the four of us doing it is inherently bad.
Just the four of us.
Correct. And
For-
whoever's at
for-
the top of that system, there's four guys potentially
Yeah.
making the rules. But like if you have somebody brand new or a new idea that comes in that might be controversial or whatever. I mean, because we've had so many things that have been controversial in this country that everyone was on board with, and then all of a sudden, we realized, okay, this is actually the right way, or this is the better way.
Well, I'm about to say something really controversial.
Yeah,
like communism versus democracy. Like there's so much violence here, and like the violence in China is significantly lower. Is it because?
I mean, you know about they have the work camps, right?
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of people that are enslaved right now.
in China.
Correct. Yeah, they've got work camps. They have tons of slavery, tons of poverty.
When you say slave, you mean like sweatshops and like child labor?
No, they have the I can't remember the Uyghurs. They're the Chinese in like the northern part, and a bunch of them are enslaved, and they're in straight up work camps.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's not good.
The
That's
poverty
new
rate
too.
over there is ridiculous. There's so many abandoned homes out there.
Well, they build and build and build, and
Yeah.
then there's no economy to support it.
They just fucking abandon them, and there's actually people that come from overseas and purchase a little lot or whatever the fuck.
They
it
do
is.
have an empty, like super city in China.
There's
like,
a few.
That's abandoned, right?
abandoned.
Yeah.
Like
completely
nobody's in
abandoned.
there.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like if you look at the size of it and all the work that went
Yeah.
into it, and there's nobody there, like it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just kind of taking that new thought into my life. No, I mean, that's, I can see, outside of the norm, like maybe like, rent on time, cell phone bill on time, car insurance bill on time, things like that, maybe helping out like the generalities of like establishing a better credit. But when you're talking about social credit, and whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, that's
who
where
decides?
Yeah, who decides?
Right.
Like what are we talking about now? It reminds me of Red Dead Redemption 2 or Fable. If I chose to do this as a villain, I got a villain score, and it up to my villain score were things within that video game. By the way, huge nerd.
yeah. Dylan's really into that.
Huge nerd. Things that I would do within many games, but that one specifically, if I was to do something that like say rob a bank, I immediately have bad energy without that character, without that story,
That's what's beautiful about
moving
gaming.
forward through it, I'm now a villain and everyone's after me, as opposed to you know, being a good guy within one of those games, and benefits come my way left and right. So I think it's interesting. I think it's hope it never happens here. That's for sure. Like, I mean, that's just a scary thing.
It'll be a little tough.
Could be a lot of
That'd be-
villains.
That's a
Whole lot of
scary
villains.
thing.
So
Yeah,
I
four
think,
separate countries in one country. That's it's gonna be scary for a lot of people.
I think that it is happening because it's not necessarily a government top-down. I mean, I think that it is at the end of the day, but we can't be a communist country the way things are set up as it is currently. So instead of the government saying, hey, we want people to behave in this way, you know, we want them to consume and buy lots of stuff and go into debt and, you know, essentially be like modern day slaves. And instead of the government making us do it, they can make corporations and businesses do it to us.
Financial institutions.
Right, so they won't lend money. They won't
Yeah.
give certain corporations loans or whatever unless you have, for instance, pronouns. Like, why is it that in 1 year all Fortune 500 companies are now, you know,
Uh-oh.
pronoun this, pronoun that?
Yeah.
You know, so that's just one way that they can do it without having to actually do it. You know,
Yeah, that's
kinda heavy, I
That's
guess.
deep.
Yeah, that was very heavy, actually. I like how we are all like,
let's go into something lighter.
So, very,
My boy Dylan, he's a big fan of art and video games, and but mainly stories. We talk a lot
Yeah.
about movies and shows, but I wanted to
Directors,
specifically
screenwriters,
all of those
yeah.
things. I feel like you're more of a writer. I don't know if you do much writing at home.
You know, I wanted to when I was younger. If I could do it all over again, I think I would be definitely involved in the film industry. I don't know whether that be a director, actor, producer, screenwriter.
I mean, you can still do it.
I mean, I know I can still do it. I think that at a certain point when I was younger, I saw people in my life go down certain paths that they were passionate about, and then it became a profession. And then it wasn't about that tangible energy, like that feeling you get when you fall in love with something for the first time. Now it was about bills, and I got to make that cut to get on this next project. My profession and my passion are definitely on the same page. I do think that things like film, you know, just cinema in general, documentaries, things like that, that is a very internal, you know, passion project for me and for me alone. And I think that people who understand that passion, like you, like James, like y'all, like me, that's the stuff that I geek out about. And I'm okay with that. Just me being, yo, I saw this new movie, it made me feel this way, it reminded me of this. Like, I mean, how many TV shows I tell you about
A gazillion.
all the time?
Did you ever watch Ancient Apocalypse?
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
I thought it gave me more questions than answers, but
So
no,
have-
things
have
like
you-
that I get into. Like, I mean, like the ancient civilizations, history, this, is, that, and the other. The trouble with the way I grew up is I always had this bias where I did not know if what I was reading was actually the truth. And probably a lot of that has to do with my Native American culture and the way I was brought up. Because I had never felt my culture anywhere in school, books, textbooks, knowledge. I learned from a very young age that I would have to experience it and be in it myself to actually get some knowledge from that. So I think if we're talking about movies and documentaries, yeah, like, I mean, that's all stuff that stays right here that I just dream about. Like, I want to know the answers, right? But will I ever actually get those answers? I don't know, you know. That's okay. And I think that when it comes to professionally, I would love to continue to do that, but I think right now in my life I'm very focused on what I'm doing. So that's still fun to me to clock out of work and still have that. So,
What game is getting the most of your time right now?
what game?
It's got to be Jedi. It's got to be.
Oh, I beat that. I beat that quickly, 80 hours. I don't know. I think I'm most excited about Diablo 4. That's coming out this week.
It looks fun, and to have
Yeah.
like those old school style
It's a top-down.
real-time
Top
strategy.
down, yeah.
It's like Gauntlet. That's
Yeah.
what it reminds me of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. What's one game that you've played that most people don't know about, but that made an impact?
Ooh. I want to go with like a classic, like everyone would say like Mario or Tetris or something like that, Sonic. I don't know, I think that the most fun that I had growing up with a game was probably something like NHL 95.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
wow.
that game.
Oh yeah, when you
With
saw like the burner coming off the slap shot and all that. It's very, very dear to me
Don't-
because I would play that with my siblings growing up.
Don't they
okay.
play that game in Swingers? So when he comes
Maybe.
over,
I don't know, I haven't seen it in a while.
Because there was a big scene where they're about to fight and somebody pulls a gun out and they're all trying to kill each other, and then the next week they're all hanging out playing it in NHL 95.
Shit, that's how it happens, man. No, I think 95. I mean, it was
On
my
the-
sister
on the
and my
Sega?
brothers. It was I think it was like Sega or
Yeah.
something like that. Like
Yeah.
I just
Reggie, what
remember
was
that being
yours?
so fun.
Shit.
Smash Brothers and 64.
Mine
That was
would
another
probably
one. That
been-
was my second
original.
answer.
Probably been Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
That's a good game.
Bringing it back.
You bring it back. Fucking old school
Oh,
Nintendo
my
when you had to
God.
blow on the
Yeah.
cartridge.
Oh yeah. That cartridge game.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go all the way back to. I used to have I think I was like 6, and my stepdad. We had he was into computers. I was in at a young age, and I remember loading up these giant floppy disks to play.
Oregon Trail.
No,
Oh, dude, that game
that was
dysentery.
better. OG SimCity.
Oh shit! Oh Jesus!
You've been playing Sims for like 2 decades, haven't
Oh,
you?
I'm
Wait,
37,
30,
so
yeah.
You were playing,
I've been doing
you
it
were
about
playing
3
SimCity
decades.
as a kid?
Yeah, and here's the best part. Whenever I get an ad for like SimCity Build It, which is this terrible online pay-to-win game, I'm always just like, bring back the original SimCity. But I have a picture in my bedroom of me being
the
like
blog.
6 years old on the computer. I'll bring it and show you guys. But that's the game that hooked me onto city building and garden.
I can see that. I think the not the game that people don't know about, but I think the studio that really inspires beautiful game making today, now movies, now TV shows, that really connects with me because of how important cinema is to me, would definitely have to be Naughty Dog. Like the first time I ever loaded up Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3.
So good.
Those were the days when I would go to a GameStop at 10 p.m. when it closed at 9, and I would wait in a line with like 200 people just to pick up that copy. Like I remember those days.
Yep.
Everyone just buys it online now. I still to this day walk into GameStop because I like to hold it in my hand. Yeah, I like to talk to the people working there. But Uncharted, that whole adventure, the idea that I could be Indiana Jones every single day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like actually do that myself. That was the coolest thing in the world.
Did you ever beat it on the hardest difficulty?
No, I did not.
I hear it's very difficult.
It's not fun.
I think
It's not fun.
if you get shot once or something, you just instantly die. There's no
it's
saves.
Golden Gun, 007.
That game was fire.
Yeah,
though.
was it slaps only?
Right?
Yeah, I remember that. Slaps only. Chop, chop. Yeah.
Nightmares about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What was your game?
It's gonna be the basic. I had that NES.
Yeah.
And the only game I had was like Mario.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Mario, but it was the fact that I could just like do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah, I think-
I even have some Mario tattoos on me.
Sick.
Like that's how meaningful it was to me. It was just like
I think
that.
a greater part of the population has spent many life hours on Mario.
Extreme
in all
amount
of all of its iterations, Mario
Yeah.
Kart, like just Mario.
I
like,
still have the NES and the fucking cartridge that you.
It'd be interesting to track that because studios and the gaming industry in general, what they do, they track copies sold. Like I was reading the other day, Elden Ring came out, right? Recently. $7 billion in revenue. Like, I mean, that's what they earned off of one game.
Jeez.
I'm talking about 200 million copies,
Well, if you-
however much they sell them for whatever systems, right? Sorry, but to put it into perspective, for me in particular, I beat that game and I think I put like down like 95 hours. Can you imagine if you take all those copies sold and calculate the amount of hours that go into that? I think that would be a spreadsheet I'd really be interested in.
So I know a little bit about this topic. So I looked it up one day. But the highest grossing franchises above like Star Wars, above some of like the Lord of the Rings, like the things that make by far the most money is GTA 5 and Pokemon.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you hear that they're trying to put GTA 6 is going to translate the money that you make in the
Into
game
real life.
to real life?
God.
How does that happen?
That's what I'm trying to.
Like,
So I was like,
maybe
now you're
like
just
cryptocurrency,
now you're just
like,
now you're
dude,
just fully saying like
the hackers are
I'm
sitting
gonna
there
do
like,
violence
oh
every day.
yeah.
Like,
Is this like a meta world thing? Like
It sounds like it's
yeah, it
that way,
sounds
right?
like
It
it.
sounds like it.
The
It needs to
disconnect.
stay fantasy.
The
yeah.
disconnect needs to stay
Stay.
disconnected, man.
It's not
Like,
gonna.
It's what. Thank you. I know.
It's not
I
gonna.
know, man. Like, it's crazy. We talk about this daily,
Yeah,
even when
exactly.
we're not doing this. When I'm at work, you're doing your thing. We chat about this stuff all the time. I think. I don't know. To make it all one like that. That's just about as scary as what you were talking about earlier with the
Yeah.
social
It's the
credit.
same
It's
thing.
like we're not even talking about.
Being a human anymore.
Yeah,
We're like
not. Now
barreling
it's-
down like the Ready Player One.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. That's
right.
it's just Ready Player
By
One
the
all
way,
day.
amazing
Amazing
novel.
movie.
If you've never read either of the novels, they're phenomenal.
Never read them, but are they great?
Yeah, they're phenomenal. Ernest Cline, Austin, Texas. He's an awesome writer. He's phenomenal.
Can we talk about who made that shirt? Because that shit slaps.
Yeah, and this is NTVS. I don't know if you can zoom in on it. NTVS, native company. Stephen Paul Judd is the artist. He takes these really ambitious, ideas. For instance, on May the 4th, I sent you guys a couple of them. We're both massive Star Wars nerds, so he would take like an AT-AT walking around, right? Put that in black and white, but he would actually crop in, natives next to a teepee from the late 1800s, and he makes prints and T-shirts and stickers out of that. My cousin Dominic, he runs Hoop Medicine. That's another native clothing company that I'm supporting all the time.
And they both have Instagram.
Yeah, they do, at Hoop Medicine and at NTVS Clothing.
Nice.
Yeah, proud of them.
They look nice. I love that. That one's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
original kicks, got some moccasins in there.
That's awesome. Dylan, we were talking earlier about, you have a story about fry bread that I thought was pretty amazing. I don't know if you could retell that.
Yeah, I think, sorry, that was bothering me. Yeah, I think that fry bread, well, hold on, before I get into it, let me ask you all what you think about fry bread, like what pops out to you.
I mean,
Is it Navajo tacos, Indian tacos?
no,
right?
not Navajo tacos. It's like literally just Indian fried bread, like something that's obviously not in my culture, because we have like in my culture we have churros and shit like that, but it's something that's from another culture and it's delicious. It's amazing. But I do think that people have used it more for marketing recently, because
It's becoming more popular.
it's becoming more popular and they're throwing everything on it. And I was like, no, like I remember growing up and going to New Mexico and going to like some neighborhood and some house and getting like fry bread from a house, and it was
Authentic
the most
shit,
authentic
right?
shit. It was so fucking delicious. Like the memories, it wasn't just that; it's the memories that come with it. Like, the
It's
drive
not just
there.
food, there's more to it.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have
Yeah.
Dude,
definitely.
I never heard of it until I moved here.
Really?
I've only been here for 5-6 years. I never heard of fry bread.
I made
Like,
it for you
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah.
What was it, Christmas or something?
Yeah,
what was
Yeah.
it, Brad's house, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tacos. It was amazing.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah, I think that fried bread to me, I think it does kind of have a Greek tragedy element of this story. In the 1860s, Navajos were literally being removed. I think there was something like 50 plus trips. You're talking about 300 miles where the federal government were literally having Navajos move away from Arizona to New Mexico. Hundreds of natives died, but the U.S. federal government gave them 4 ingredients: lard, right, flour, right, a little bit of water, salt, probably throw some sugar in there nowadays. But fry bread was a necessity for survival because where they were being moved to, they could not rely on replanting crops or corn or growing vegetables and things like that. Funny enough, that's how sopapillas were created.
Oh, that's
shit.
crazy. I didn't know
That's
that.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the way I look at fry bread is that I grew up in a powwow community, always going to ceremonies, seeing my aunties make it by hand right there, teaching me how to make it. I think for me, it connects generations and brings people together. That's the way I look at fry bread.
It's awesome.
And when people exploit it, I can't change the world, right? So kind of have to deal with it, but the local shops around town, yeah, I support them, for sure.
What are there any shops that you'd like to shout out to have people try?
Fry Bread House over off of, what is it, Camelback and Central area? Or it might be 7th Ave.
It's 7th, I think it's 7th, yeah.
Fry Bread House, phenomenal. Maria's right back here off of 40th. Yeah, 40th and Thomas, I believe. Yeah, they're
I'll
pretty
have
good.
to check that out. That's real close to here. So speaking of food and restaurants, Dylan's been in the restaurant business industry for a long time, and I was just curious, what's your favorite restaurant that no longer exists? Like your favorite dead restaurant? It doesn't have to be in Arizona. I know that you're from Austin too, so
Yeah, I've been rattling my thoughts about this. I actually think that I don't have one that doesn't exist anymore. What I do have is one that I can't go to anymore, and that is P. Terry's in Austin, Texas. P. Terry's is better than In-N-Out, in my opinion. And I'm originally,
okay.
It's like a burger
and I'm
spot?
originally from Orange County, so I know In-N-Out through and through. P. Terry's.
what do they serve?
Shoestring fries, salty as fuck. Don't
Yeah.
need ketchup. I mean, just grab it by itself. Juicy, tender, delicious burgers. Simple menu, just like In-N-Out. Milkshakes. For whatever reason, I just thought that the quality was better than In-N-Out because I lived in Texas for almost 17 years, and we had a couple In-N-Outs out there. But In-N-Out in Texas, In-N-Out in Arizona, Nevada, is not In-N-Out in California. It is not the same.
I would agree.
Are the fries the same? Because,
Yeah, I mean, but I don't get down with In-N-Out fries, though.
neither do I.
And the animal style, I get it, but I'd rather dip it. I want my fingers all in it, you know? All I'm saying is that if you ever go to Austin, Texas, check out P. Terry's, man. I was talking to my buddy Corey the other night. We were playing Battlefield on the mic. He was like, damn, I'm about to DoorDash this P. Terry's. I was like, you want a milkshake, don't you? He was like, damn right I want a milkshake.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's so
Captain Crunch milkshakes, like, come on.
cool. That sounds awesome.
Damn. P. Terry's.
P. Terry's. All right. What do you? So also, I was curious. What do you look for when you go into like a new account, new place you've never been to? Are there any things that really annoy you, or is there anything that you're really impressed by? Some people say service. Some people. For me, I'm annoyed by lights. If the lights are too bright, and I'm annoyed by music. If the music is off, I instantly know, no matter what I'm doing, and it bothers the shit out of me.
Now we have to keep in mind that Dylan opens.
Yeah,
open
yeah, this is
restaurants
what he
and
does for a
you
living.
train
Yeah.
and you train all the employees for different sites. So you have to like preface it.
Yeah, I think cleanliness is probably the one thing that will drive me up the wall. And I think that's a standard that I learned a long time ago. I've been working with this company for a long time, but the idea of going into a restaurant with a couple homies, right? Going into a restaurant with a couple homies, and let's just say like we all go out, right? We go get a beer,
Yeah.
right? we get a plate of nachos, right? Get a plate of wings or whatever. And it could be as small as, no one swept the floor in 2.5 hours, and I see like 3 different meals on the ground. That would bother me. I think that like if we got that plate of nachos and someone was handing out like silverware that looked a little dirty, or a plate that had some cheese on it or something, that would bother me. Restrooms, that would bother me, right? I think cleanliness in general is something that, for me specifically, makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm a very clean person. I definitely have an OCD flag, when I'm at work and when I'm at home. I really like to make sure that I'm managing my output, right? And I try and reel that in as much as possible. I think that from a social aspect, I think eye contact is something that, regardless if that bartender doesn't know how to make this cocktail, that, hey, do you know how to make, a Naked and Famous or something like that? If they don't know how to do it, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, what's the
Yeah.
I'm 20 years veteran. Never heard of it.
Naked and Famous is a spin on a gin classic called The Last Word. It's also meshed with.
It's called
I hate
Naked
you.
and
How do you
Famous.
know one?
All right, so
I've
so
got
I've
10
been
years in fine dining and never in my
I've
life.
been in the industry for, this will be my 18th year. I've been behind the bar, behind the stick for about 15. I've had a lot of incredible leadership, people in my life and mentors who've inspired me to do great things. One quote that I'll mention really quickly that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life is, amateurs practice until they get it right, and professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. And that's the way that I go into a new restaurant opening, a shift. Yeah, right. So to wrap that up, what you're talking about is a paper plane, right? And a Last Word, 2 classic cocktails, put them together, and you get Naked and Famous. It's yellow chartreuse,
You have to-
lime, mezcal, and
there we go.
Aperol, all equal parts.
Oh, God.
Vigorous shake
Sounds like
and
it's something I
tight
would-
strain in the coupe.
Okay.
Might be one of the best mezcal drinks you'll ever have.
How many restaurants have you been involved in opening?
For the company I'm working for right now, 18,
And this is in how much of a time span?
7.5 years. But in the core of those years, I would say 5 years truly on the road, traveling, opening, and training. The other time was time spent at home or doing other projects. But I think in total, probably 23, but that's also with other companies prior to the one I'm
Right.
working for right now.
Nice.
Do you think you would ever branch out, or is there another step as far as maybe like a hotel type of situation or something bigger, distribution? I don't know if that's something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I don't know about distribution, but I'm always a fan of learning and progressing and challenging myself to learn a new trait or skill set or a new drink that I've never heard of. And when I get inspired by something like that, I want to attack it and I just drive for it. Because I think what gratifies me and gives me significance being within not only this company but the current restaurant that I'm working at is the way that the internal hospitality of the staff that I work with, they know that they can come to me and ask questions, and they know that they can approach me and they can be nervous and they can, not understand wine or not understand how to pair wine and things like that. I think with all the years of experience I have and situations and conversations and wine tastings and cuts and bruises and scars everywhere, I think that I've come full circle around to appreciate that it's okay to feel that way, because the first time I started working for the company I'm with now, I was a trainee in a new restaurant opening. So to have that perspective, and then now almost 8 years later, I've opened up all those restaurants as a trainer, I understand, that's a massive ask, for this brand new person to learn all that stuff. So
As someone working in the service industry, what's the one thing that really bothers you from a customer?
That's such a low. Which volume of books would you like to?
Yeah. Which appendice?
Like top one, top two.
Cleanliness.
No, well,
No,
from
well,
a customer basis.
We're talking
like-
about guests.
Oh,
We call him
yeah.
guests. Thank you. That's how I know that he's good. Yeah.
We're talking about a guest doing something, like whether it be verbal or an
Correct.
action.
Correct.
That makes me.
See, now I'm no longer gonna say customer. I'm just gonna fucking say guest the rest of my life.
I think that the one thing that drives me up the wall more than anything is my bar is very close to the front desk, right? Those are all my little sisters. Like, those are all my hermanas. Like, they're 16, 17, 18. They don't know the things that I've done in the industry, right?
Right.
And when you have, say, a guest actively being rude and intimidating to someone who's young, who is not in control, right, of the overall picture, they're in control of way more than anyone wants to give them credit for. But they might not have all the answers, right?
Right.
So
Or the
anytime-
confidence.
Or the confidence, right? Great point. Anytime a situation happens like that, I'm ready to put my bouncer jacket on and like stand in their corner and take that situation away from that person and handle that for them. Like,
It's a pretty intimidating bouncer jacket
I get
too. Like,
very older
you're not
brother.
a small guy.
No.
Dylan's like 6'5", I think. Somehow he's the
No.
tallest. He's by far. Is he taller than you?
No.
No.
Did we
I
do
got
the
an
wingspan thing?
You
with
got
Dylan?
you got
Oh, I
half
forgot
an
to
inch.
bring the tape measure.
We should do the
We'll
wingspan
measure
thing.
him after the show, and then we'll air it next week.
No, dude, we did our wingspans the other day.
Yeah?
It's like me, him, and Steve in here. And we Steve,
Three men just fucking
Measuring.
measuring each
Steve's
other's
like 85
wingspan.
years old. He's like, do me, do me.
Do we?
I have a really good segue. Dylan's very protective over his staff, but he also fucks with them a lot too.
Oh God.
And he's got a couple
I
of
knew
good
you were gonna
stories
bring
that are
this up.
hilarious.
See, this is where the older brother stuff
Yeah,
comes in.
tell the one story about you had like a new bartender, new bar back. The most recent story you just had.
Oh man, are we talking about air samples or grass-fed shrimp?
The air samples. Oh my gosh.
All right, so there's a health and safety company that goes into food and beverage,
Health code.
health code,
Yeah.
goes into establishments who run food and beverage, right? And what they do, they audit the restaurant or the hotel or the bar or whatever it is to make sure that they are upholding the standards of food and safety protocol, making sure that sanitizers change every 2 hours, fruit's not sitting out for 4 days, yada, yada, yada. We got two little sisters at the restaurant. You got the you got the experience that they'll never forget. We had asked them to get air samples for this company because they're walking around checking sanitizers and checking,
Making sure the fridges are cold, making sure the
drains,
food's
checking
safe.
temperatures, doing line checks and all that. And I'm like, yo, we need air samples. We need air samples for that. These poor girls are walking around with like trash bags, like just
swinging them left and right.
grabbing it from the patio and all that. I was not the only one doing this. I got a good buddy who I've known for a long time. He was part
Air
of it with
samples.
me. But so that one was recent. Man, I've been doing this for years. First time I learned this was 18 years ago. The first job I ever had. The first job I ever had. It was like my second day. I was working at a Sonic drive-thru. I didn't even know what I was doing. I started off as a dishwasher. By the way, being a dishwasher for my very first job and doing that for a year might be one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Because it makes me realize that if, say, excuse me, we're opening up a new restaurant, there's no one to wash dishes, I'm not afraid of that. That's within my wheelhouse. I'm okay doing that, right?
Cradle to the grave, It's like, no matter how much we have, I end up always washing dishes somewhere.
Yeah. But either way, the first time that ever happened, I was working at Sonic. I was annoying everybody because I'm just walking around bumping into people and they're in a rush. And the GM sends me across the street to go get a squeegee sharpener, which is not a thing.
Like
so I go to a gas
like a grape
station.
peeler or
Yeah. So I go to a gas station, right? They're like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I'm like, "Whatever." I'll walk across the street to the Randall's, the grocery store. Go over there. Like I'm gone for like 30 minutes, right? Nothing. Walk back, and I can't remember his name, but the GM, he was like, "No, we just need you out of the way for like half an hour so we can get through that rush." So they literally just sent me walking. And then guess what? After that rush was done, guess what I was doing? Washing all the dishes. They just needed me gone for half an hour. But I mean, I do it all the time to baristas. You know, is that oat milk fresh squeezed, or can I get grass-fed shrimp? You know, and then they think about
what's
it.
the organic one? You're like, I want organic like water or something like that. Like,
Oh, cage-free sweet potato or something like that. The thing is, though, the trick is that you got to catch them when they're busy.
Yeah, when they're busy,
When
yeah.
they are like locked in and they got this going on and that's their direction, or you know whatever the manager told them, this, that, and the other. You have to ride this sense of panic and fear. It's a very, very thin line, but at the root of that is comedy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's because, like I said, I'll protect all my little brothers and sisters when I'm in that restaurant. But it's also okay to kind of have like an older brother, little poke and fun joke with them.
He's like, yo, was the fish a male or female?
Dylan, you tend bar a lot, so you're a pretty good judge of character. And I have a question: Are you able to judge people, kind of, you know, as far as like what they order as far as drinks?
No, I actually never give them the option.
Well, would you like to try, right now?
Judge you guys?
No. Just I'm gonna give
no.
you a couple drinks, and I want you to tell us what you think about this order.
Okay.
Dos
All right.
Dos Equis.
They want a light beer?
Okay.
Probably a hot day.
All right. Maker's Mark. What does that say?
They like sweeter old fashions.
Okay. How about Shitty Ricky whiskey?
Wow.
What does that guy like?
What does that guy look like? That's what we're all interested in.
Wow.
Shitty Ricky.
I have a button. I've got a button for it. I got a red button for it.
Wow.
I mean,
And
I
that's how
guess I want
James
to see
orders
it.
it on the phone. He's like, yeah, I mean, you got to get another case of Shitty Ricky whiskey.
I guess what I would want to know is what the bottle looks like.
It's
before I
some
can make that
no-name,
judgment.
like, it's like a JMO knockoff, I think.
Yeah.
We used it in green
Is it
teas.
Irish?
Yeah.
Or you don't even know?
He doesn't even know.
I don't
Y'all
even
don't even know.
like, whatever
it's
they
like
pour, like, I
shitty
was like,
Irish,
okay, yeah, just
like,
get it.
well.
Is it well though? Is it?
I think it's like $11 a bottle.
So it's
Okay.
It's bowls.
That's why it's
All right, it makes you look like shit.
All right.
That's $11 for 2 drinks, damn it.
I will say this though, after all the years being behind the bar, I make it a very open forum. I think that anyone within the service industry, or bartenders, or trainees going into a new restaurant, or servers that have been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years, is a very neat way to bring and reel in that guest if you are in that type of establishment. Sometimes it's kind of like Tito soda or whatever, get the fuck out of here.
Sometimes it's like Tito's or vodka Tito's.
Yeah, or it could be anything. If you're talking about like all
You
bars
ever get
and
that
all
order though, when they're
demographics?
like faded and they're like, "I'll take a vodka Tito's." Like,
I've gotten some
okay.
weird stuff. Yeah, but I think what
It's
I'm
the same
saying
shit.
is-
So.
I think what I'm saying is like,
And
when someone doesn't know what they want to drink and they're asking my opinion, that's when I go through a battery of like, cool, do you like something sweet, balanced, or spirit forward? Right there, I'm giving you 3 blocks where I can branch out, navigate, and filter to exactly what that person's looking for. If they want spirit forward, sweet, I already know. Boulevardier, martini, right? Old fashioned. What are we talking about? If they want something sweet, maybe I can do something with rum, make a Mai Tai, make pina colada. I can make a sweeter margarita. If they want something balanced and refreshing, now we're talking about gimlets, we're talking about mojitos, right? And so I think that my first observation is like, hey, let's get you brought in, take a minute, take a look over. But I always want to give them that option because I think that that's what service means to me. If I was on the other side of that question you were asking me earlier, like what's the game changer in service? I try to be that game changer in service to where I can make it about them, not about me. Because I can sling whatever you want all day long, but can I get you to trust me? That's what it's about for me.
Do you ever wrestle with? I have this idea that either people want adventure or they want nostalgia.
Sure.
And like with nostalgia, it's easy because then it's it's the vodka soda, the whatever. Like sure, you want something safe
Harvey
that you always,
Wallbangers, you know.
but like with adventure is fun because it opens up. You get to use your talents, and that's what you're kind of talking about. How you can kind of like decipher what the experience that they're actually trying to have because you do this for a living. Most people are in their office, doing their day job, and they're coming to see you because they want to have
Either routine or experience.
Yeah, or
right?
something either super super safe and correct and done right, or like a fun time where I don't know what I want. Like I want to find out what I want, and that's kind of your job. That's why you're good at your job. So
like when you brought your mom and sister in, last year or whatever?
Yep.
I was doing all this chocolate martini stuff
Oh,
and
they
blah
had
blah
a
blah blah blah.
great time.
Yeah.
They still talk about it.
And that's all I'm there for, right? I'm there to protect the younger kids, right? Help with knowledge, grow a little bit myself, learn new recipes so I can give those back to people who I care about, right? When they come in and bring their loved ones in. But at the end of the day, I don't think that being in distribution would ever give me that, right? I think that being behind the stick, being with the ingredients, being up front, flirting with that ticket printer, getting melted by tickets, having 75 things to do in 6 minutes. That's, I think, trying to put that puzzle together, I think, is what
Speaking
makes me
of
inspired
puzzling
about that.
together and bringing it back full circle, this is kind of why I think that the idea of you being a writer is something that makes sense for you, because you're talking about the purest form of art. I'm basically what I'm saying is you create things right now, or you could go and make a ton of money working for an importer, distributor, or whatever, but you wouldn't make you necessarily happy. When we watch our shows and our movies and stuff, we hardly ever remember who the writers are, except you probably do. But we just remember the show. We remember, the art, the whatever it is. But the real art, the bare bones of it, is kind of what you do every day at the bar. If you were a writer, then you could be like the bare bones of.
Well, thank you, man. That's very sweet of you to say. I mean, it's there. Don't get me wrong. I play guitar and I write my own music. And I've got a book of lyrics, and I do write. I do write. I don't have a screenplay or anything like that. And I mean, I know that you've written in the past.
Well, ChatGPT wrote half of it, so.
Not half.
Yeah.
Like 25%.
Who are we thinking?
You're right.
25%.
Fuck
Come
off.
on.
Zuckerberg, like who's really writing this?
Since we're in the sports corner, how's your ankle?
It's
Did you tell them the story of how you?
Oh, you're gonna put me out there like that? All right, so I rolled my ankle the other day. I got tape on it right now, and I got to work
you taped up?
in an hour and a half. Yeah. Oh, I felt like Kevin Durant for all you Suns fans. Be out for
Slim Reaper.
3 weeks. Yeah.
R.I.P.
No, I was
He was supposed to take us to the championship.
Supposed to.
terrible.
Don't get me started on that.
No, since you brought it up, no, I got a right ankle, my dominant foot. Thank you. Black and blue and taped up right now and swollen, and it sucks. And I got to work the next 3 days and stand on it, but I'm gonna do my job. No, I spilled.
Were your eggs okay?
No, they weren't. They were all over the street, man. I would love to say that I was at the gym dunking on little kids, fucking pushing over little kids.
The fucked up part about it is like his upstairs neighbor saw the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Was
And then
this
she
when
like-
I fell, like by the moving truck?
Oh my god.
A similar story.
It sounds like that.
I got
Okay.
2 hands full of groceries. I'm talking like 6-7 bags, right?
Oh, because you're the guy that
6-7
grabs
bags.
all the like
Look at
one
these.
trip.
Yeah,
one
these.
trip.
Yeah, one
It's
trip,
like
dude.
shaking
One
it like
trip.
a bunch of bananas.
You don't go back. You don't go
See
back
these
and forth.
prosciutto fingers? These are thick, man. I got a
You get
buddy,
them all.
one of my mentors, he calls me Tray Jack hands. He just calls me, because I got these big old trays right here. No, I have all these bags. I'm getting out my car. It's so embarrassing. This is like this 10th time I've had to tell this story. I got to start making something up after this. Yeah, I have all these bags, and somebody parked in my carport. So immediately I was like, that dude's getting towed. And I'm like furious. So I do think this is partially kind of like insta karma, you know what I mean? Because I was so mad, I was gonna tow that dude.
You were
I had to
blinded
park in
by
a weird
rage.
spot, and I got cars and bushes on all sides of me. Pick him up, shut the door, furious, heading to the apartment. Took one bad step and pop, just 90 degrees right off the curb. Eggs everywhere, chicken breast on the ground. My spinach fell out of that bag.
Hold on, your
I made
neighbor
no-
saw you.
So, and not my like direct neighbor, but a neighbor within like that building was on the second floor. And I mean, there's just groceries everywhere, Sprouts bags everywhere. She's smoking a cigarette,
Oh, it's
watching on the patio. I'm like on the floor, just screaming in pain. She
make direct
just
eye contact?
looks at me, puts her cigarette out, and then just walks right back inside. Didn't say a word. And yeah, it was
Wow. Like no, are you okay? Or,
She's like,
yeah,
fuck,
nothing, man.
fuck that guy.
She just shakes her head in disgust.
idiot.
Peasant.
Yeah.
Throw, flicks the cigarette and walks inside.
It was pretty sick. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then I had to take 2 days off, and yeah.
You
It's-
lost work?
Dude, I couldn't walk for like a day and a half, man.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm walking now, but y'all saw me when I walked in here. I was still kind of hobbling.
Yeah, just
Shoot, a couple days ago, y'all gave me a bag of ice so I can put it on the ankle. Yeah, it's still healing.
We're getting a little bit close, but I wanted to ask, how many buttons did James have undone last night on his shirt?
He was four buttons
down.
Four buttons down.
so-
Exposed.
All
Breast-
the-
Yeah, like full exposed.
Can you see his belly button?
No.
We were told. He was telling me he should have done like a sun tattoo.
Like a reverse tramp stamp?
Yeah, I was like, dude, you should have that sun tattoo from like the fucking 90s. Just like,
Man, I wish I would have seen this.
Oh, it was amazing.
We gave him
doing?
shit about it for a solid 20 minutes.
He likes
Oh,
cowgirls
man.
We
now.
like warmed his ribs up for like 5 minutes. Like,
Was he like James mad? Like when he gets
Yeah.
mad? Like
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
he's like quiet. He's just
Yeah.
like, you fucking
like
bitch.
chin down, eyes up.
Yeah, he's just like laughing it off too, because obviously he's trying to impress a lady. I'm like, bro, we're going in hard. Because he left with his fucking one piece V-neck that he always has on.
Deep V.
The deep V. The deep V. And then he
deepest of
fucking
Vs.
comes back, and then he's just like wearing this
Yeah.
button down.
So
I was like, dude, where you
Matthew
from?
McConaughey.
Fucking
No,
Miami?
no
Like,
DV underneath?
nothing.
Just straight
Nothing.
skin?
No,
Straight
bro.
skin, bro.
Taco meat.
No, bro.
Yeah,
he-
just taco. And
he
I
was-
we were telling him, we're like, dude, there's like 3 chest hairs there. The fan was on.
Yeah,
And
it
I was
was
like,
like-
they're just
it
like
was like-
flying in the wind.
Oh, poor
He
James.
was not.
He was like raw dog in the plaid shirt, no undershirt at
Nothing to do. He
Oh,
was
man.
not having it at all.
all. He was a McConaughey in it, dude. He was out there in these streets last night.
Where's James?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Where did he
That
go?
was a James
Where's
sighting
James,
last night.
man?
Yeah.
There was one sighting last night, but then
He's too
it's
busy.
rare.
Always.
It's rare to see
He's
him.
not doing
Mixing up that mustard.
And it was a rare occasion to see the way he was going heavy on the paint last
My
night.
God.
Really?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It was, and he was so irritated. He slammed like a Monty. He was just like, "Fuck
No,
you guys."
he slammed
I'm out.
Monty. No, and I mean it was.
Turned over, put it on the...
Yeah.
Put it on the hard
Poor guy.
It was,
poor guy.
yeah, he was. We love you, bro, but
We do.
Yo,
we do.
his
It's-
mustard
it's
is
those 4 buttons
fire,
deep,
dude.
bro. Those
No,
4
it's mustard.
fire,
It's
Oh,
fire.
no more plugs for the mustard until he's on the show.
So he's
Okay.
on the show?
And,
All right.
and we'll get worse shirts and
Worse-
make more fun of you,
worse
James, the longer that this takes.
I said stone ground.
All right, is there anything you guys want to end on?
No, that was a great. That's
good.
great. Ending
Loved
right
it.
there.
Yeah, it was
solid.
fucking fun.
Dylan's
A lot
got
of
some good
fun.
stories.
Yeah, he
Great
does.
storyteller.
I had a lot of fun, man. Thank you guys so much for.
Yeah, appreciate you
I
coming
see you
out.
guys all the time.
Yeah,
You're,
man,
If you'd like to
you're
see
my
Dylan,
family. You're my circle. So
he's at
it
the
was cool to-
Henry a
cool to
couple
be here.
days a week. I don't know what your schedule is.
Yeah. I bartend at the Henry. When we open up new restaurants for FRC, I fly out and help out with that. I'll be helping out with the Global Ambassador, the hotel that's opening up later this year, and going into a lot more challenges. And
Where's the Henry located?
It's at 44th and Camelback.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's love working there. Yeah, I'm happy to go to work every day, and I know that's a very it's a good feeling for me.
Even when you have to clopen.
Those suck.
Yeah.
But
When I have to clopen,
I
it's
always
like,
take it back
I
to
still get to
being
sleep for
there.
8 hours.
You know what
You
I
always
mean?
think back to the Sonic dishwasher days.
well, no, I always take it back to like you know, like being there, there's so much good you can do with the time you have. When, you know, whether you're a lawyer or working in IT or running a bar or being a tattoo artist, right? I think that the people that really appreciate what they have in their lives, I think it's easy for them to work those long shifts because they know that they can do a lot within that time being there. So, yeah, I mean, opening restaurants is a grind. I'm glad I don't live out of a suitcase 7 months out of the year anymore. That's for sure.
That's gonna be a tough
But,
life.
but no, I'm happy with what I've been able to do over the past 8 years and what I'm going to do next. So.
Perfect.
All right,
Nice.
cool.
That's good to hear.
Thanks for joining us today.
We need a shout out to the fake sponsor of the day, please.
Heard that.
Which one should we do?
That's a good question.
What's one of those like food companies that you know what I'm talking about? Like you sign up for it and then they like drop stuff off and it's so
What's it
healthy.
called? Fracture? No.
James, I know you.
Fake sponsor of the
I
day,
know
Mama's
James knows
Mustard.
Mama's Mustard.
Mama's
Yeah,
Mustard.
Brought to you by
It's
Mama's
so
Sponsor of the
good.
day. God, it fucks. If you ever see the owner, just Snapchat it because we never know where the fuck he's at. So.
And count how many buttons are down. It's
Yeah.
at least 4
least
minimum.
If
Full
there's no
buttons
buttons,
down.
it's a full one piece. Ask him where he got that romper. He will tell you immediately.
Can we get some horns on the outro? All right, thanks guys. Have a good one.
Oh dear, don't you ever worry, I'm right here. I can never fucking live without you. I wouldn't even want to.
That kid looks just like you.
That's my kid.
Yeah.